Your host, Alex Alanis,
and your co-host, Mr. Alonso Rodriguez.
no problems, just solutions for real estate needs, hot topics, and controversial chat. And we are back here at the Real Estate Rant here on the towers of the Rant Radio Network. I'm your host, Mr. Alex Alanis, and to my left here, my broker,
And man of many talents, man.
Mr. Alonso Rodriguez. How are you, sir?
Good.
We missed you last week, my friend. What happened?
Oh yeah, I just had some errands to do. My mom was feeling a little sick. Well, it was my dad actually, and had to take him to the doctors. So when no one else can go, I have to go to the rescue.
That's just how it goes, I guess, huh? Mike, what day is it? Whoop, whoop. Give us a call, 855-693-4897, or you can email us at realestaterantradio@gmail.com. We won't get to your questions on today's show, but on subsequent shows, Mr. Alonso will try and answer some of those. Real Estate Rant and our AGR and Associates are proud sponsors of Michael Aguilar and Associates and Stroke Awareness. You can visit Mike's website at www.strokeawareness101.com. Mike had a stroke a couple years back, and now he's become an advocate for preventing stroke and giving seminars on it. So give him a call if you'd like to have him talk at one of your events, seminars, or meetings, and he'll be glad to come and do that at a fee for a small fee, of course. I think he charges a fee, doesn't he, Fred? In-house today, we have Mr. Fred Zermano from City Planning Commission. Fred is going to share with us today what Planning Commission does for the cities here in Southern California and how they operate and what they discuss and how they go about doing that. So we got a good show in store for you today. Mr. Alonso, we get any questions this week?
Absolutely. This week's question comes out of Martha out of Maywood, and it says, "I agree to buy a house, and now I've changed my mind. How do I cancel?"
Ooh, short and sweet, huh?
Short and sweet. How does she get out of it now, right?
Do you want to take that question?
Buyer's cold feet, huh?
Well, yeah. Buyer's
Well,
remorse before you finish the transaction. I
buyer
get that.
beware. What's the word you always use?
Caveat emptor.
Caveat emptor.
Yeah, buyer beware. It's
Well, I mean,
French term.
once when you sign a contract, you become you've done a binding contract. So now you've agreed to do something that you say you're supposed to be. Now, I mean, I don't want to say you can't cancel because you absolutely could cancel, but then there's consequences that come with it. Now, you don't know if the previous seller is already in another contract. So now you got to figure out, that they took their house off the market. They're expecting it to get into another home and probably need that money from the sale of the previous home. So there's a lot of things, a lot of people you've put to work now, and now you want to back out because you got cold feet. You just got to be aware that canceling there's consequences that must be faced, and you might have my best advice is talk to your attorney and get some clarity because you don't know what the other party intention is on how they're going to remedy their loss or their
Does the person who wrote the email did they clarify as to the reason why they want to cancel?
they was just short and sweet. It said, "I agreed to buy a home and now I've changed my mind." They changed their mind apparently. How do I cancel?
Well, there is a section in the RPA that talks about canceling the contract. The contract is cancelable, but like Alonso was saying, yes, sir, there could be potential consequences, which are financial consequences to canceling that contract, and it really depends on when they're canceling. If it's before or after contingencies, I mean, these are all questions that a real estate agent can answer, especially for
That's a fact.
Now,
That's a
now, if
fact.
you have a
Thank you,
smart
sir.
real estate agent, I'm sure he could find that loophole which will make you canceling, will get you out of that contract without breaching the contract.
Yeah, in my experience, I have had buyers cancel on me before. And in my experience, the sellers a lot of times they don't seek the remedy. In other words, they're just okay with the cancellation. They just try to move on to their next contract or their next transaction. But I would say that at the end of the day, to the listener, the best thing to do is to read your contract and understand what the ramifications are of canceling.
And then another thing also is that there's also see how far the contract has been applied because, like I said, you put a lot of people to work when you agreed to do something. You got to make sure if your appraiser went out there already, then those are absolutely fees you're not going to get out of. Escrow, obviously, right when you sign the contract to open the escrow, they're already working, so there might be some fees that they are going to get dinged for, but
Yeah, and if you think about all of the stuff that's going on in the background, you're getting an NHD report, you're getting a termite report, and usually those reports and those individuals are going out for free. They're not getting paid. They don't get paid till the transaction is closed, especially your real estate agent. So, you know, as a buyer, most people aren't going around saying, "Oh, well, I'm going to cancel, but I'm going to go pay all these individuals." They never do that. That's just unheard of. And if they did, wow, wow, I think the world would be a different place. But at the end
I
of the
think we'd be happier agents.
well, absolutely, and we'd be probably better agents because we know that the people are sincere about what it is that they're doing. But not really knowing why he wants to cancel it kind of leaves it in a gray area. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and usually if there's a logical reason and it makes sense, and I'm sure that the seller would rather cancel that contract than tying up their home and letting it drag and not, if it's something financially they can't get the loan approved or something that makes logic, I'm sure that the seller will prefer to you cancel right away and look for another buyer.
Yeah, but that gives them the opportunity now not to realize any of those losses because that's all in the contract. So give us a call, 855-693-4897. If we can, Mr. Pantalones, throw up the design deal. It, let's see, $25 gift card from Steven Steakhouse located in the City of Commerce. Compliments of Eddie Tafoya and the Commerce Industrial Council. You can win a $25 gift card if you get this kind of a house. What do you think, Mr. Alonso? Is this an easy one?
Dude, I'm part Eskimo. I hope you know that.
Right on, right on. So give us a call if you happen to know what kind of property this is, and you're welcome to cheat on Wikipedia, which is where we found the information, and we put it up on multiple choice
And it's not one of
answers.
those all the above ones like last week
Uh,
when I was actually listening to the show when someone called in and
well, believe it or not, it could be, but it's not. It
oh,
could,
okay.
but yeah, it's not. It is one of the answers, and just a hint to the listeners, it may not be the obvious one.
Dollar makes me holler, honey boo boo.
You're killing me. So give us a call, 855-693-4897. Uh, did we have well, we'll do the funny on the second segment. Mr. Fred Germano here from City Planning Commission. You can reach Fred at 213-219-1060, or you can email him at FILM2014 at live.com. That's film 2014 at live.com. And I don't think that that's a phone call. No, okay, thank you, sir. And
It's not my phone.
yeah, Mr. Fred, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me
Welcome,
on.
Mr. Fred.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. Fred,
Sure thing.
maybe we can start with a short introduction about yourself.
Okay. Well, I, born and raised out here in Southern California. I love the sunshine, so I stayed out here. Went to Cal State, Los Angeles, for business administration, and I became a photographer for many years. Worked for the LA Rams and continue to shoot NASCAR and the Dodgers now for 25 years,
Nice.
and got into
That's terribly
politics.
sexy.
Yeah, thank you. Got into politics, being here in Southern California, of course, with all the activists coming out from the east side. So I followed a lot of those guys around, and now I continue to stay active as a planning commissioner and as a producer here in the city of or in the county of Los Angeles.
So when you say you were a photographer, Fred, does that mean did you do like newspaper or for
I did a lot of newspaper clippings. I did a lot of magazines, and since an early age, I sent out to as many folks as possible nationwide, especially when we broke into the internet, because myself, coming from old school photography, we had to hand deliver a lot of the photos back then, get it developed, and make sure that it was there for them to use. But now it's just amazing what we can do. We could send out to 100 magazines in 10 minutes, and they have our photos, especially with social media. I mean, within a minute, a million people could be viewing your photographs. So that's amazing.
so it wasn't back in the days when you would put your head under the big old blanket under and then they'll snapshot it like that. That's what when he
I
said
was
old
just gonna
school, I'm
say, you
like,
said old school.
I was like,
I was thinking negatives and developing and all
Yeah,
that
I
stuff.
mean, old school. When I started in 1983, It was old school, man. 1983 was old
It was
school.
still the black room. I don't think they even exist anymore, right? The black
No, no.
rooms.
I mean, it's very rare that you come across a dark room, but yeah. So we used to have to develop all our stuff,
Ain't nobody got time for that.
and exactly that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Right on, right on. So, how did you make the jump now from photography to politics?
Um, I was with the Rams. I was lucky enough to shoot on the field for the Rams for about 9 years, and when they moved to St. Louis, I was still doing a lot of photography, but I got involved with some campaigns, some local campaigns, and was writing for a couple of the local newspapers. So fortunately, was able to become a press secretary for the city of Los Angeles, and worked for a couple of council members out there, and I did that for about 6 years. So after we were termed out in the city of Los Angeles, I learned so much in the city of Los Angeles on how to raise money, how to put on events, and how to do great publicity for people. So I said that's what I'm going to continue doing, and it kind of all fell into what I was already doing, which was photography and PR. Stayed with politics, and that's how I continued to become a planning commissioner eventually for the city of Pico Rivera. Yeah.
Why would you need a planning commissioner? Why would a city need a planning commissioner? What is their main objective,
You
or what
know,
is their job function?
as a planning commissioner, the commission assists in developing policies for zoning, for land use. They work on the city plans for the future. So that's what a planning commissioner does. The planning commissioner is appointed by the city council to carry out a lot of these functions. So that's basically what a city planning commissioner
So,
does.
so you're the man that we come to when we need a variance or when we need something
Exactly.
changed, right?
Sure, sure.
Let me make sure I get that card before I leave.
Yeah, right on, exactly. So anyway, give us a call at 556934897. We are running up on time.
Don't touch that mouse. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with some more real estate rant.
Real Estate Rant and AGR Realtors are proud supporters of Michael Aguilar and Associates, advocates for stroke awareness and integrative healthcare.
In February 2012, I suffered a stroke due to high blood pressure. I was rushed to the hospital where I was admitted for the next 30 days. I was initially told I may have to stay in the hospital for about 3 months, but I made rapid improvements in my recuperation and continued to improve to this day.
When Michael left the hospital, he did not have insurance to cover his rehabilitation, so he focused on integrative healthcare to get better. At the end of 2013, seeing a need for stroke awareness, Michael started his own company, Michael Aguilar and Associates, to focus on creating awareness about the dangers of high blood pressure and stroke.
If you would like more information, please call me at 562-464-7297, or you can visit my website at www.strokeawareness101.com.
Michael Aguilar and Associates, creating awareness and saving lives one person at a time.
Do we have your attention? When it comes to tequila, two things matter: heart and passion. Never compromising integrity for mass production. Number one Tequila delivers the goods. Taste the heart and passion of Mexico in every bottle. We make it right. We make it fun. Superior Tequila. There's only number one. There's only number one. There's only number one.
Been in an accident? Then you need your vehicle professionally repaired. That's exactly what you get when you bring your vehicle to Greg's Auto Body Repair. 3 quotes within minutes. We will provide everything you need for a hassle-free auto body repair, from an accurate estimate to working with your insurance company. We will get your vehicle to its pre-accident condition as soon as possible. Greg's Auto Body has been serving Los Angeles County and local cities since 1970. Call us at 562-789-1300.
A home is the biggest investment in most people's lives. Buying or selling should be a positive experience.
Whether you want to be a wealthy real estate investor or just trying to find a place to call home. At AGR and Associates, we focus on the client's needs.
We understand the market better than most. Let us bring the value to you and make the right choice.
AGR and Associates, making your dream house a reality. Call us today for a free consultation at 562-882-1976. Or you can log on to www.agrrealtors.com.
With a track record of great results, bringing knowledge, wisdom, and expertise to you. Hablamos español. Live from the Rant Radio Network,
You're listening to Real Estate Rant with your host, Alex Alanis.
and your co-host, Mr. Alonso Rodriguez.
No problems, just solutions for real estate needs, hot topics, and controversial chat. We are back here at the Real Estate Rant here at the towers of the Rant Radio Network. Alex and Alonso here at Real Estate Rant once again. How are you doing, my friend?
Good, good, good.
Give us a call at 556934897, or you can email us at realestaterantradio@gmail.com. In-house today, we have Mr. Fred Zermano from Pico Rivera City Planning Commission. And Fred is here to share with us what goes on in a planning commission and how we need these individuals to use their expertise in allowing us to have a safe, sane, and functional city layout, if you will, right?
That's exactly right, and that's basically what it is. We have to make sure that the safety first and foremost is the most important to the community and to the residents of every city. So those are the kind of things you look for when being a planning commissioner. You keep your eyes and ears open.
How does a planning commission differ from a city council?
Well, the planning commission is more of the advisory. Sometimes we get items to vote on before they go in the city council. So we'll do our homework. We'll make sure that we kind of investigate a project. So we get it in advance, maybe a couple of weeks in advance. We'll investigate it, and we'll make sure that that everything is appropriate for that project in terms of safety, in terms of environment, in terms of what the residents want, because the residents also get a letter. If you're going to build a 7-Eleven 200 feet from a home, that home is going to get a letter letting them know that there's a 7-Eleven going to be built 200 feet from your home. So that resident could come in and say, I don't want this here. So those are the kind of things that happen prior for the city council getting the vote.
How many people sit on the council?
There's 5 commissioners
On
and
the
also
commission?
and also on the city council.
Okay, so there's
Yeah.
5 and 5.
Right.
Do you guys ever find yourselves like being button heads about any of the issues or plans?
When a city's functioning the way it should be, it doesn't happen. Fortunately, I've been with the city now for 4 years, and we've been pretty good because things are going smooth. We're bringing in a lot of new business to the city. We're looking for new business in the city, and we're at an upgrowth. We have a great police department, fire department. Infrastructure is working. So right now that's not happening in our city. So we agree to disagree. We agree that things are happening in the city, and we should just keep moving right along. We're all big thinkers, hopefully.
So I'm reading that to mean that if you guys are not in agreement with something, that eventually what you're looking for is a solution, not necessarily to argue about it, but to find a solution and kind of massage it into place.
And that's exactly right. There's been issues, for example, some of the islands that we've been developing in the city. There was a disagreement on what kind of, and this is something
Landscape.
right, landscaping.
Oh man,
So those
that's
are the
next week's show.
so those are the kind of things we're discussing right now. But there's a lot going on besides landscaping, but that's important because of the water issues. So because of the water issues, we want to make sure we bring in the right landscaping into the city because water is something that we're saving.
We don't want California looking like Arizona with all that rockscape they call it now.
Yeah.
The hardscape.
Yeah, the hardscape.
I kinda-
We don't want that. I
kinda like
kind of like
cactus.
green. I like green.
I like cactus.
I like to see beautiful flowers with nice colors and, bring color to the city.
AGR's got some cactus in the office there. Give us a call at 855-693-4897, Mr. Pantalones, if we can throw up the design deal once again. Win a $25 gift card to Stevens Steakhouse looking at City of Commerce, compliments of Eddie Tafoya and Commerce Industrial Council. Mr. Pantalones is lagging on me today, it looks like. Oh, he's on the line. Sorry about that, folks. But if and when he puts it up, feel free to give us a call, 855-693-4897. So how did you get into the planning commission? I mean, it's not something that one looks up in the classifieds and says, "Oh, look, there's a job that I
Planning
can."
commissioner.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's not something that.
And I think for something like that, in the planning commission you could apply. Anyone could apply for the planning commission. In my case, I was appointed. I was asked if I wanted to be a planning commission member. I was active in the community. I showed up to a lot of the whether they were campaigns, mixers, events, chamber events. So I think if you're active and you show a lot of enthusiasm for your city and your community, and you want to make sure things are done right. I was showing up to a lot of the city council committees, and then fortunately I was asked by one of the council members if I would like to be a planning commissioner, and of course I said yes, because I want to make sure that I help lead the city in the right direction.
So what do you guys do exactly? I mean,
Besides help create policy for land use, and really work on the general plan, the city's general plan, and look into the future of what we're going to do in our city. Most cities now are running. The Who. Yeah, I like that. I like that. So most cities are running out of land. So we're starting to create new policies where we could bring in mixed use, which is housing and retail together, because now we're starting to look into building upwards instead of sideways, because
That was easy.
yeah.
I really wish they'd start doing something like that with the roads and freeways, because man, the traffic is just out of control. And not that the city of Pico Rivera has anything to do with that, but some of the freeways do run through Pico Rivera. But and I guess this brings up a question: do you guys collaborate with other cities when it comes to those kind of things?
And we do, if good example, the Beverly Bridge, when it caught on fire, we had to collaborate not only with the city of Montebello, but with the state of California to make sure that we got it up and running again, because people commute. Obviously, it's a highly used bridge.
And actually, that bridge, it gave me headaches for years. I lived by that area.
Right.
And once they closed that bridge down, I don't know what politics were going on, but it frustrated a lot of residents in that city.
What was wrong with it?
They burned it.
Well, it caught on fire accidentally. There was some folks living underneath the bridge, and
they say it was accidentally, but
right.
then in the newspaper there was some clippings that it was burned on purpose.
Oh my goodness!
On purpose, meaning
it was
a political move?
It was something that had to do with money on who was going to build it, and I don't know. I don't want to get too much in detail.
Was there a troll living under that bridge?
Something like that. We'll probably see a movie about that one pretty soon.
There is a lot of people that use that bridge, and there is a lot of how can I say, a lot of transits that live under those bridges.
Transients, okay.
Yeah, they're
probably still is.
Oh yeah.
Well,
I want to say I'm a native from Pico Rivera, and I actually have some horses on the trail. And sometimes you feel it's unsafe because there's so much people living under those bridges now.
So these are friends of yours.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't call them friends. I call them acquaintances.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, give us
and
a call.
that's another issue, and that's something that not only with the city but also with the sheriffs we're working on with it's obviously the homeless issue, and there is help for all the people that are living under that bridge.
And
there's
especially
places to go.
Especially
so these are things you guys talk about.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
The thing is, it's borderline Montebello Pico, so the Montebello PD gets there. Oh, it doesn't belong to us. It belongs to Pico. Pico gets in there. It doesn't belong to us. It's a Montebello issue. So they don't they don't make up their mind who actually is the right authority to call on that bridge.
Uh-oh.
Mr. Pantalones, earlier I was trying to get the design deal up. Can we get that done now? Mr. Pantalones has now joined us back in the engineer booth, and you can throw that design deal up one more time. You can win that $25 gift card to Steven's Steakhouse. Thank you, sir. And give us a call at 556-934-4897. So interesting, Fred, what we're talking about today,
Sure.
because man, there's so many questions that come up.
Oh, yeah.
Really, and I'm actually boggled by so many questions in my mind. But when do you guys meet up? When do you guys?
We usually meet up the first and third Monday of the month. So that gives us enough time to look at the projects that are coming up and to bring new business into the meetings, talk about old business, and basically the city usually recommends which way we should vote, and we usually agree with them because we're pretty much heading in the same direction.
Are these public meetings?
They're public meetings,
Oh,
and we
okay.
encourage the public to join us because without knowing really what's going on, I mean, we live in the city. Of course, you have to live in the city to be a planning commissioner, but you also have to rely on the rest of the residents because if there's only 5 of us and 5 council members, and then most of these suburbs have small staffs, they're not fully staffed like the city of Los Angeles, the county of Los Angeles. So we're relying on the residents of every city to come into the planning commission meetings and let us know if there's a tree down, if there's overgrown brush in certain areas, if there's a stop sign that's broken, you know,
Lights are not in the
anything to do with safety or improvements to the city.
Who would you go to with those issues too, though? Is that
You
go
could
to the-
you could either call the city planners direct, the city management direct in your city, or come to the city planning commission, and there's a time for public hearings where you can discuss. You have 3 minutes to let us know how you feel about anything in your city, or to give us information about anything in your city.
So when you say 3 minutes, that means everybody that's
It's your elevator pitch.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's an elevator pitch, and it's a great time to work on
Oh,
it.
there you
Yeah.
go. There you go. So, but each individual that happens to want to say something, they get 3 minutes.
They get 3 minutes. Most of the time, they'll take a minute and a half. But I mean, if you have a lot to say and you want to aggravate us, you know, you're going to use your 3.5 minutes.
So for example, I would go in there and I tell them why I don't think it's right to build on Beverly Boulevard where they want that new development to be, where they want that new development of apartments.
Sure.
You know how it's going to affect the
but
residents.
wouldn't that
and
be
the
for
traffic.
city council, not the city?
It'll
Council?
come to us first.
Oh, come to you guys first. Okay,
Yeah.
I see.
And do you know which development I'm talking about, Fred?
Yeah,
Because
the
it
one
is-
just south of the bridge or east of the bridge.
Yeah, it's right there on Beverly Boulevard.
Sure.
We'll be right back. Don't hold that thought. Don't touch that mouse. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with some more real estate rant.
It's one thing to own a business, it's another to promote it. That's why thousands of business owners rely on Monster Marketing Group. Design, print, mail, custom mailers, all for as little as 29 cents delivered. That includes postage. Send to a neighborhood, zip code, or an entire city. With just a simple call, 888-49-MONSTER, you can easily promote your business, sales, events, grand openings, send coupons, and much more.
Your mail delivers in as little as 5 days. No dealing with the mailing list or paperwork. Monster Marketing does all the heavy lifting. Get started now by calling 888-49-MONSTER or go to monsterng.com.
Monster Marketing Group. We deliver, we give you results, we can prove it.
Real Estate Rant and AGR Realtors are proud supporters of Michael Aguilar and Associates, advocates for stroke awareness and integrative healthcare.
In February 2012, I suffered a stroke due to high blood pressure. I was rushed to the hospital where I was admitted for the next 30 days. I was initially told I may have to stay in the hospital for about 3 months, but I made rapid improvements in my recuperation and continued to improve to this day.
When Michael left the hospital, he did not have insurance to cover his rehabilitation, so he focused on integrative healthcare to get better. At the end of 2013, seeing a need for stroke awareness, Michael started his own company, Michael Aguilar and Associates, to focus on creating awareness about the dangers of high blood pressure and stroke.
If you would like more information, please call me at 562-464-7297, or you can visit my website at www.strokeawareness101.com.
Michael Aguilar and Associates, creating awareness and saving lives one person at a time.
The experts know that for pastry, Baker's Bodega has it all. Exclusive brands like Westco Bankmark, Satin Ice, and Pastry Pride. One-on-one day seminars for cake decorating and gelatin art. So for our service, wide range of ingredients and supplies, and for the low prices, Baker's Bodega has it all. But you don't need to be an expert. Baker's Bodega, 7869 Paramount Boulevard in Pico Rivera. Come, we're waiting for you.
It's hot out here. I need a drink. Have a mucho macho michelada. What's a michelada? Michelada is a Mexican Bloody Mary made with beer. All you have to do is get bucket-sized michelada, open it up, pour it in your favorite beer, and you're good.
What if you don't like beer?
You can use it in lemon lime soda, vodka with lime, or tequila with lemon lime soda.
Sounds delicious. Where do you find it?
You can find it at your favorite store, or you can go to muchomachomichelada.com.
Find us on Twitter and Facebook.
Live from the Rant Radio Network,
You're listening to Real Estate Rant with your host, Alex Alanis.
and your co-host, Mr. Alonso Rodriguez.
No problems, just solutions for real estate needs, hot topics, and controversial chat. We're back here on a Wednesday, top of the hour, here at the Real Estate Rant, station identification here at the Rant Radio Network. Thank you, gentlemen, again for allowing us to have this show and the energy that it gives off to our listeners. Mr. Pantalones, who's not even paying attention there. Give us a call, 855-693-4897. If you can, Mr. Pantalones, throw up the design deal. This is now the third segment. Nobody has called in. This is actually an easy one. I figured I'd give out an easy $25 gift card, but nobody wants it. So Alonso and I might be hitting some pastrami
sure
later,
hope
you
so.
know. Or maybe, I don't know, some
I haven't
prime
ate
rib
lunch.
sounds good.
I haven't
Yeah.
ate lunch, so
It'll be a late
Steven's
lunch.
Steakhouse will
It'll
good.
hit the spot, right?
It'll hit the
They,
spot.
they
Right
have
on,
a good
right on.
they have a good avocado burger there.
Oh, okay. I haven't tried that.
Yeah,
You know, we went in and we tried the pastrami. It was out of control.
yeah.
It really was.
They're really
it was
good.
delicious.
Really good stuff.
In-house today was Mr. Fred Zermano from the Pico Rivera City Planning Commission. You can reach him at 213-219-1060, or you can email him at film2014@live.com, and that's 2014-2014.
If you happen to be a Pico Rivera resident, make sure you call with all your complaints and let them know what's not working in our city.
And now,
That's right.
And now you got his phone number that is now burned into eternity there on YouTube, and you can reach him at any time. I'm sure he'll be glad to get your phone calls late in the evening, like
Sure.
11, 12 o'clock at night. When
my phone's turned off.
yeah, exactly. Well, that's the best time, right?
Yeah.
So give us a call and get that particular design. You can win that $25 gift card to Stevens. And why don't we do are we gonna do the question?
The question for what?
This question here.
Oh, go ahead.
We'll
I'll let
run
you
that,
read it.
We'll run that. I'll let you read it. Mr. Pantalones, if we could throw up the card, the real estate funny, please, my friend.
So,
Yeah, go ahead.
also the question comes from Google. It says Google offers affordable housing. It says whether critics are bemoaning Google's buses or pointing to the lack of women and people of color working in high-paying Silicon Valley jobs, or worrying about the housing shortage in San Francisco region. Tech giants are often in the line of protesters' fire. It says Google has recently made notable move regarding affordable housing. What have you heard on that?
Well, I haven't, but what does it say? How much money are they going to spend on that affordable housing? Now, this is Google, and I'm assuming it's for their employees.
It says the internet search company has proposing a community benefit package valued at $200 million attached to its new business campus in the Mountain View area. The CBA line items include new green space, a bike pedestrian path, scholarship funds from high school students,
Nice.
and building affordable housing units.
Right on. So I saw this article, Fred. Like,
Yeah.
man, I wanted Fred to comment on this because is this something that now the city gets involved in? Because now you have a private entity that
Right.
wants to pour money into the community, but the city commission, I'm assuming, needs to look at this. Like, what's going to be the impact and effect on I don't know, not necessarily the environment, but what's the impact on what the city is? Even though it sounds like a great thing.
Right. Well, obviously, the first thing I'm going to say is where do I apply? And
I want one.
yeah, I'll start working for Google if they're gonna build you a home. And not only that, but they just announced today also that they're going to extend uh, uh, their program for uh, pregnant women to
Oh,
stay
for
home for an
the
extra
family leave.
yeah, family leave program for an extra year. So from
Nice.
6 months to 16 months. So I mean, Google's obviously the place to find jobs.
So I'm assuming, and correct me if I'm wrong, Fred, but when a big company like that goes in there, do they give any portion to the city where they're in?
Well, what happens is the city's going to obviously look at the project. They're going to welcome them with open arms because it's going to bring in revenue to the city. It's going to bring in jobs. They're going to build $200 million housing facility. Obviously, you're going to need to build a market around there. You're going to need to build some retail. Obviously, I'm not sure exactly where they're putting
Silicon
this.
Valley, it says it's
So everything's going to be
Sunny-
plastic out there, huh?
Sunnyvale.
Okay. So in Sunnyvale, okay. So Santa Clara County. So it must be a nice parcel of land out there, and you're going to accept something like that with open arms because it's going to bring in so much revenue to the city, retail, housing. It's a great project.
so
As long as they looked at it and they've all agreed that it's something good for the
so
city.
that explains why our city got a new Walmart, a new show. It got I mean, from back when I moved in there,
Right.
Well, they used to be what, Northrop, right there.
Northrop. It
Right,
used to be
right.
Northrop, and all of a sudden now we got a Walmart.
And those are the
Well,
kind of things
it's
you
a
do.
whole, it's a whole mall there.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, that's what you look for when a company like Northrop leaves. They're taking revenue from the city, so you have to find a new revenue source to bring in. And the city of Pico Rivera at the time did that. They brought in an outdoor mall with a Ross, a Walmart, all these great stores, restaurants. They're still continuing to build, and they're still looking for more folks to bring in, and it's really developing to be something else.
Del
I
Taco
just-
went in there, the price went right up.
I just realized how old I am. I
Yeah.
remember back, Fred, in Pico Rivera when they used to be where the steakhouse is, where Steven's Steakhouse is. No, that's not Claremont Steakhouse is
Sure.
next door. The 99-cent store now.
Oh yeah.
I don't
yeah.
know. I don't know if back then, if you remember when it used to be La Quebradita Market.
Ah, La Quebradita.
Dude.
So there was a lot of dancing going on in that market,
No,
huh?
that's what it was called. It was
Okay.
an old Spanish supermarket,
And now it's a 99 cents.
and now it's a 99-cent store. But I just realized how old I'm talking about.
So tell me this.
40 years plus.
So if you remember the Quebradita market, I mean, the 99-cent store is pretty crowded as it is. It gets pretty good
Yeah.
clientele. How was that Quebradita market? Was it a pretty busy place?
It was busy.
Yeah.
All the Hispanics went there. There was no back then. There was no Alpha Beta,
Right.
which
Alpha
is now
Beta, okay.
which is now the Food for Less.
Right.
Yes, yes.
And then I've seen some changes in that area, in that city. That's why I can't leave it.
That's good.
Well,
That's
no, I
good.
mean,
and it's
and
going to get better.
there has been a lot of changes,
Yeah.
and
I'm looking forward to the new Durfee Bridge. Can you tell us a little bit about that Durfee Bridge?
That plan is supposed to start in 2015. It's going to be a new underpass, obviously for the safety reasons. We have a school right down the street, and the kids use that area to commute to school and to come home. So we're looking forward to the underpass, the new underpass. The development is going to be amazing there. It's gonna be from night to day in terms of what that whole area is going to look like. So we're really looking forward to it. We did the pass-ins a couple of years ago, and it turned out beautiful.
Oh yeah, that's a millionaire's mansion. That's what I read an article that was one of the hobos' most fanciest homes, most expensive homes.
There you go.
They're
Hobos.
comparing it to a mansion.
do they still call them hobos? Like they have the stick and the bag.
How much did that cost? Give us a
That was
ballpark figure.
that was in the millions. I'm not going to throw out a figure because I'm not absolutely sure, but I know it was in and about 100 million.
Wow.
It had to.
Yeah.
It has to be because I just drove like three, 4 times when it first got built because I wanted to see how it was, all that landscape they had on there.
It's a big project.
Where does that kind of money come from, Fred?
And it comes from grants from the state and federal. Those are something that your council members go out and look for. And
So they lobby for that
oh
stuff.
yeah, they go to Sacramento and they sit down with Governor Brown and some of our other Congress, and they make sure that that money comes to Pico Rivera. Sure.
So I'm assuming that when the council meets up, the commission meets up, you guys sit down and vote on this stuff. Do you need a unanimous vote?
We don't sit down together to vote on it because our votes have to come separately from the way their mindsets are. So we'll go ahead and get the project in front of us first, do our diligence on it, and then we send it out to City Council, and then they'll go ahead and either approve it or disapprove it. If they need more information on it, they'll come back to us. We'll work on it a little more, send it back to City Council for either their approval or disapproval.
No, I have to ask this question. It's
Sure.
One of mine and Alonso's favorite subjects.
Okay.
Do you guys ever vote or talk about alcohol?
Yeah, we do. All the time. All the time. There's restaurants, there's markets.
I'll drink to that.
There's laundromats that want an alcohol license. Everybody wants to sell
Oh, you mean
beer.
you mean laundromats like the rodeo nightclub that was on the news a little while ago for laundering money?
That
no,
I'm
not that kind of
yeah,
laundromats.
Yeah.
Not that
No.
kind of
Yeah, that I'm not sure about that, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, I had to ask.
No, that's. Oh, I see where you. Okay.
Yeah, you had mentioned. You had mentioned during the interview
Sure.
that you also have city attorneys, and I was a little confused by that because you guys are doing your thing, but how do attorneys play into all that?
Well, the city attorney is a very important part, of course, of the meetings because they make sure that you say the right things. They're basically a consultant for all your live meetings. They want to make sure that, and you want to make sure that you say the right things. The city council wants to make sure that they don't go out of bounds in any way or matter, and so that's important to have a city attorney to sit there during the live meetings because that kind of they're your guide to what you can say and what you can't say.
But what can they say when you're in a press objection, Your Honor? You stop there, or
do they bleep you out or something?
Well, if sometimes during the meeting, if you're not sure really what answer to give, maybe a residence on land use or property tax or anything like that, you look towards the city attorney and he'll open up his microphone and he'll give you the answer. He'll basically help you out. And that's what they do because they do have the answers.
the correct answer?
The correct answers in terms of protecting the city and the commissioners for what your discussion is at the time.
Right on.
Yeah.
Give us a call, 855-693-4897. You can win that $25 gift card if you call in and get that particular design. That's still up on the board. Have you guys ever won any awards?
There's no awards to the city commission. We thank each other, pat each other on the back when we do something good, and it feels good to bring good projects on board and to have something pass. For instance, we're bringing in a new hotel into the city of Pico Rivera.
Oh, nice.
And some of the residents were kind of leery about the whole thing, but then we explained to them what the hotel brings, what kind of clientele they're going to have.
We'll be right back.
So,
Hold
yeah,
that thought.
so it works out pretty
Don't
good.
touch that mouse. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with some more real estate rant.
Looking for a delicious, fresh family meal that's ready when you are and easy on your budget? Welcome to Piara Pizza. We make our pizzas with handmade dough, 100% real cheese, and tomato sauce blended with our own spices. Nothing is ever frozen. We always have large pepperoni and cheese pizzas fresh and waiting for you for only $5. Or choose one of our specialty pizzas. We have veggie, meat lovers, supreme, and Hawaiian. Add an order of our amazing hot wings, cheesy bread, or breadsticks. Our locations are ultra modern, ultra clean, and open 7 days a week. Visit any one of our locations today, or check us out on the web at www.piarapizza.com. Piara Pizza. Fresh, hot, and ready for you when you come in. Stop in for your Piara Pizza today.
ProTech Carpet Tile and Care provides professional cleaning services for carpet, tile, grout, upholstery, and fine area rugs.
ProTech technicians are professionally trained and certified cleaning and restoration experts.
We specialize in restoring damage caused by heavy soil and odor.
We can remove challenging spots such as coffee, tea, ink, gum, wine, and many more.
We have saved our customers thousands of dollars on new flooring and furniture expenses with our advanced cleaning processes.
Call for a free estimate at 562-447-4300 and visit us on our website, www.myprotectsite.com.
Hey, this is Joe Perez, owner at ProTech. Just reminding you that ProTech Carpet and Tile Care is your professional choice.
Hey, what's up, homie? What's happening?
What's up, bro?
Hey, man, are you into sports?
Oh, yeah, bro. Angels, Dodgers, Ducks all day.
Oh, yeah, you gotta listen to the Moles Bro Sports, man. They cover LA sports.
Where can I listen, bro?
Oh, you gotta check them out on iRant Radio. That's irantradio.com or Moles Bro Sports on Facebook. You gotta check them out, Holmes.
Okay, bro. I'll check them out.
All right, I'll check you later, homie.
All right, man. See you later, bro.
Looking for some swag? Make sure to check out monsterclothing.com. They got everything from V-necks, t-shirts, hoodies, baby dolls. And remember, custom orders are always welcome and much more. They're just not on the site yet. www.monsterclothingco.com or call them at 888-49-MONSTER. 888-49-MONSTER. Hablamos español. Doo-doo-doo!
Live from the Rant Radio Network,
You're listening to Real Estate Rant with your host, Alex Alanis.
and your co-host, Mr. Alonso Rodriguez.
No problems, just solutions for real estate needs, hot topics, and controversial chat. And we are back here at the Real Estate Rant, here at the towers of the Rant Radio Network. I'm your host, Mr. Alex Alanis, and to my left here, my broker, Mr. Alonso Rodriguez. Once again, give us a call, 855-693-4897. In-house today, we have Mr. Fred Zermano from the Pico Rivera City Planning Commission. He's been sharing with us how that works, what goes on behind closed doors, and how they vote, how they get things done. Very interesting information, actually, Fred. Real quick, I wanted to throw up, if I can get Mr. Pantalon's attention, I wanted to throw up you have an event coming up.
Oh,
Fred.
yeah. Yeah, thanks for mentioning that.
Yeah, but although Mr. Pantalones looks busy back there, so can we throw up some of the information about the Beetle, what is it, the Beetle Fest?
Yeah, the Beetle Fest has taken place. It took place at the Queen Mary. It took place at Santa Monica Pier. We did one in Santa Barbara and San Bernardino, and now we want to bring one here to the city of Pico Rivera. City of Pico Rivera at Strawberry Fields, which is right behind the sports arena. And,
there we go.
There
Thank
we go.
you, sir.
There we go.
That's what I was looking for.
At the
Thank
actually
you.
strawberry fields, right? Because there's really strawberry fields there.
There is, and it used to be one, and we're going to be selling strawberries. So when people come in, they're going to be able to buy strawberries and leave with strawberries. But most importantly, we're going to have a Beetle Festival, which is it's going to have a main stage. It's going to have a karaoke stage, live artists. The original Beetle photographers are going to be there to share their work and answer questions, and then just a lot of really neat Beetle bands, followed by an all-star jam with members of Oingo Boingo, Megadeth, REO Speedwagon. I mean, it's really going to be a really good show.
So you're saying there's more than one Beetle band?
So shouldn't we be taking that to Coachella?
Well, this is our Coachella right here.
It's going to be our Coachella, right?
This is going to be our Coachella right here.
But
Woodstock.
But there's more than one Beetle band that comes out?
Yeah, there are tribute bands. So we got Britain's Finest, we got Lady Beatles, we have the Walruses. So there's about 5 tribute Beatle bands that are going to perform. And then at the end, it's going to be the Beatles Now, which is a tribute band, and they're going to perform with all these all-stars. So it's going to be a heck of a show. And just come out, support the Beetle Fest this year.
And when that taking place in September?
That's a photo there of the one in Santa Monica. We had over 20,000 people throughout the day at Santa Monica.
Actually, when we had that art walk festival in City of Whittier, there was a Beatle cover band there also.
Oh, was there?
They
Was
were
a band
pretty
there?
neat, actually.
Yeah. So this is all Beatles. If you want to sing, there's, like I said, a karaoke stage. And you can find more information, obviously, on facebook.com/Beetle Festival. And you could, purchase tickets at Ticketmaster or ticketon.com.
It has right there, Peak Reverse Sports Arena.
And we're also recognizing a couple of great organizations as well. The Lions Club International continues to be the leaders in vision, and I think that's huge because people really don't talk about vision. There's a lot of cancer and AIDS programs, but vision affects everybody at one part of their life. So the Lions Club is very active in Pico Rivera, and they're very active in LA County. The other organization we're recognizing is the Mark Daniel Music Foundation. They raise scholarship funds for children to continue to study music in college. And of course, the final organizations, the Bob Hope USO, which supports our military. And that's one thing my company supports. And every year I do the Thanksgiving dinner for the troops out at the LA airport. And I'm
Nice.
going on my 10th year doing that for the troops.
So how much are tickets, Fred?
The tickets are a great price. It's gates open at 1 o'clock. The show's going to go on till 9 o'clock, so it's an all-day event. It's a festival atmosphere, and tickets are $25. Kids under 5 are free, so we know there's families out here. So bring your kids under 5 free. You know, a couple might sneak in that are 6 and 7. That'll say, no, you're like a chaparro. Okay, bring them in. So
Now I
yeah.
know Alex's main question, which he's dying to ask, and he's probably embarrassed to ask.
What is
Will,
that?
will they be serving alcohol?
And there will be a beer garden. There will be a beer garden.
Thanks for
There
bringing that
will
up.
be a beer garden. Beer, wine. There's going to be a food garden, beer garden. I mean, everything's going to be there. It's going to be really neat. Vendors.
Yeah, I was
There's
just going to ask
opportunities.
about you're selling vendor booths as well.
There's vendor opportunities. There's still sponsor opportunities. Alex gave you my number earlier, 213-219-1060. But yeah, there's plenty of opportunity to be involved with the Beetle Festival. It's a great show that we're bringing to the city. And hopefully with this show, we can do other things in the future. And because it's a great piece of property. It's 18 acres of land out there that we need to utilize. And if that's one way to utilize it and bring revenue to the city, that's the way we're going to do it.
Right on. So all you Beatles fans out there, come support the Beetle Fest here in Pico Rivera at Strawberry Fields, September
26th, Saturday.
26th.
Yep.
And where can we buy tickets again? Ticketmaster?
Ticketmaster and Ticketon.com.
Right
Yeah.
on, Ticketon. And the tickets are $25, free under 5. And there'll be food, alcohol.
Food,
and,
alcohol, activities for the kids, a kid zone. We're blowing up all the Beatle albums, 10 by 10 feet, so people could take photos behind their favorite Beatle albums. We're celebrating the 50th anniversary of Rubber Soul and the Help album and Los Beatles album, which was only released in Argentina and Mexico in 1965.
Which over there, if I'm correct, they call them Los Beatles.
Los Beatles.
Probably.
Hey, Fred, can I mention that whole controversy that's come up recently with Ringo Starr?
Sure.
They said that Paul McCartney had died back in 1966.
Right.
And they brought in some imposter individual that looked just like him or something. I mean, I'm not taking any of that. I don't believe any of that stuff.
Right.
But what's your take on that?
You know, I think it's more of a old Beatle publicity stunt, and I guess since Paul and Ringo have been talking again, they got into their old silly ways, and it's good. You know, it's all for fun. Paul McCartney, maybe in Beatles' eyes, Paul did die in 1966 and came back as a different man. He started growing his beard and longer hair, so he thought he was a different Beatle. I don't know, but it's I think it's the same Paul. It's just Ringo having some fun.
Right on.
Yeah.
All right, so Mr. Pantalon, if we can throw up the design deal, let's throw up the answer to the design deal.
Can I take a guess at it?
Yeah, before you look at the screen, which is it?
I want to say it's Igloo.
All right, well, it's actually B. It's an Inuktitut, right?
Inuktitut.
Yes, there you go, Inuktitut. Which is it's actually all three of these, and I mentioned that before. This is all three answers would have been correct.
I knew you're doing that funny stuff again.
But the way that Wikipedia had thrown it out there is that is the actual name of these types of huts. And what was interesting about these is that the Eskimos or the indigenous people there called the Inuit people, they create these huts or igloos or Inuktitut, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm saying it right. To insulate.
I'm sure
right?
Jackie will correct you when you get home.
In a negative 49 degree Celsius temperature. Inside of the igloo, it'll be a -7, so they lose about 42 degrees just because of their body heat. And that snow insulates that. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But that is the answer. So it looks like me and Alonso are going to have Steven's Steakhouse once again, right, Mr. Alonso? So anyway, so there's the design deal for the week. Back to the Planning Commission. There was a couple of questions that I had just real
Sure.
quick, Fred, if I can pick your brain. Zoning has always been, especially in real estate, has always been something that I think a lot of people just take for granted. You know, they look at it and say, well, yeah, what is the zone on this particular thing? And a lot of people talk about waivers and that kind of thing. How does zoning come about?
Back in the day, you know, obviously there was a lot of planning to do, and when they planned, especially in our city, a lot of the zoning was mixed use. For instance, I'm not going to mention the name of the company, but there's a lot of companies that are grandfathered in because of bad planning in residential areas. So new cities are looking at zoning a lot differently now. In our city, it kind of was a mess. We have a lot of residential, so it's hard to really bring in certain infrastructures to the residential areas. We're out of room.
If not, it'd be looking like El Monte. We have a block with
let's pick it on Monty. Yeah. So you mentioned a couple of words here,
Sure.
real quick. Grandfathered use.
Right.
What does that mean?
That means that if there's a business sitting in a piece of property for more than a certain amount of years, and you go in there and you try to change the land use, the zoning on it, they could come back and say, hey, well, we've been here for 40 years now. You're not going to have us leave because of...
So maybe there's some new rules that came up, and now you can't enforce those rules?
You really, I mean, you could maybe in a friendly way talk to the owners and create a win-win situation. But most of the time, if that owner doesn't want to leave, it's going to be a hard, long battle, especially for the residents, because he is grandfathered in. He's been there for 40 years, maybe even longer since some of those homes have been there. So it's going to be a tough situation
when
to
they
get
used
that.
to be orange fields, right, or cows.
Right. Cows, orange fields, especially out here, there was a lot of that.
Right.
Yeah.
And now
that kind of goes with I know back in that city area, there's some homes that are on R1 zoning, and there's actually units on those homes, that's on one particular street that I know.
That's correct.
And it's grandfathered in because it was been there for so long. And
Right.
now a developer comes in, I can build a unit. Yeah, there's two right down the street. But no, you can't, sir. That was built in.
Well, the other word that I heard you say was bad planning. And I guess we can assume
Sure.
that through the evolution of technology, if you will, things get better over time. So I'm assuming that's what you mean by that, by bad
And they do. They get better over time, and maybe I shouldn't have used bad planning. Maybe it was back then they didn't realize how many people and how fast our cities were going to grow and the county was going to grow. Perfect example is look at our freeways. I mean, we're a parking lot on our freeways. They just didn't realize how many people were actually going to be moving into Southern California.
And that has to do, Alex, with, you know what, they didn't have a childhood. Because they've had a childhood, they would have watched the Jetsons. And you see that? You see the way they plan their little neighborhoods?
Yeah. Well, we're coming up on the end of the show. I just wanted to thank Fred for joining us here on the show. And we actually got through about half of the outline. We have plenty more questions.
Sure.
But give us a call anytime you want. You can visit us again next week, same time, same place. On Wednesdays, Mike, what day is it?
En el mismo canal y al mismo tiempo.
Yes, sir.
XCR Tijuana, Mexico.
Coming up next today at 5 o'clock, we have Three Guys Rant here on the Rant Radio Network.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to Real Estate Rant Radio. Make sure to join us every Wednesday at 10 a.m.
on the Rant Radio Network, where we talk about solutions to your real estate problems. The views and opinions expressed by the host or any guest on this show are encouraged to be followed up by a professional tax advisor or attorney, as we are not qualified or authorized to give advice in two areas: legal matters and tax matters.